Good evening, everyone, and welcome to day 14 of our course. Today, we will explore how Buddhism created a cultural revolution in India. Um, More than just a religious movement, Buddhism reshaped the social, artistic, and ethical fabric of the land. Tonight, we'll journey into the meaning of culture, discover how a distinct Buddhist culture developed, and see how Buddhist art expressed these new values. Okay, to begin with, we will start with a short meditation. Today we'll do short body scanning. Just for 3 minutes. Let me set up the time. Okay. So please settle on your seats and sit comfortably. Keep your right palm on the left palm and connect the two thumbs gently. Place them on your lap. Straighten your back and your head and relax your shoulders and relax your body. And gently, compassionately close your eyes. Now please start scanning your body from top of the head. Observe each and every bodily parts as much as you can. And see how everything is going on in your body. If needed some attention, you can pause for a while. Observe a little bit more if you have any specific pain or any tension, numbness or tightness. Pause there for a while and observe it. Go through the whole body, both internal and external bodily organs. Okay, please take a good long deep breath and hold it for a few seconds. Breathe in through the nostril and then slowly release and relax. One more time, take a good long deep breath and then slowly release and relax. Relax your mind and relax your body. Now gently and compassionately open your eyes with a more positive energy, loving kindness, gentleness towards yourself and towards everyone in the class. All right, everyone, please write a reflection with one word. Do you hear me properly? You want me to join through the phone? Then let me know, okay? Okay, so everyone feeling better? Relax, calm, thinking, steady, peace, gentle, rested, peaceful, relaxed. Very nice. All right. I'm sure it could have been a different scenario before that. Right? Okay. Let me share the screen. So, Gabriela, can I share the screen? Oh, yeah, like this. You keep your left palm on the right palm, or right palm on the left palm, and then connect the two thumbs gently. Okay? Yeah, and then place them on your lap. Um, okay. And we will also have a picture reflection today, like yesterday. I think it will be nice to take a look at these pictures. Um, so today, I think before that, maybe I want to ask you, um, who is going to be the volunteer who can do some movement exercise?
I can read Bunty.
You can make? Wonderful. Thank you. All right.
So do you want to start with this slide here?
I mean, so you do the exercise today, right, Jojo?
Oh, no, which exercise are you talking?
Like yesterday, the bodily movements.
Oh, no, I back up. Somebody else can step forward. Wrong volunteer.
Okay. Okay. Who wants to do the bodily movements today? Who
I
wants
can
to
do
do
the exercise today.
Okay, good. With the Kyra?
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful. Okay, nice. So, yeah, please be ready, some of you, just in case, feel prepared. it is better to be ready. So today we will discuss about the culture, Buddhist art, and then we will also have yeah, movement exercise and some group discussion. So, and with that, let me also actually, can you see this site? You can see, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
Bante.
Yes,
Also,
Bhante.
feel free to, I would like to ask you actually to feel free to go through these articles. Um, these are from last year, and you can actually be hopefully benefited. And some of many of the new articles have also come up. For example, yesterday we were talking about the 7 factors of enlightenment, and you can see that article also there. This is the editor version, so you see it differently. I can see all of them along with the views. um, and today we will also have Buddhist cultural exchange and regional influence, literary and philosophical contribution of Buddhism, Buddhist culture exchange, and yeah, another regional influence. Social reforms introduced by Buddhism in ancient India, the art and architecture of Buddhism. Um, yeah, so these things will be related to our class today. Hopefully, some of these articles we will discuss in the class and also in group discussion. With that, let's go to the picture reading. Okay, feel free to express. Take a look at this picture and tell me how you feel, what you see. Some can text, some can speak, both will work. Buddha accepts all. Okay. Yeah, you can do very creative. Compassion. Buddha says Buddha accepts all. Like so many hands. What you see here. Yeah. Hmm. Julie says compassion. Yeah, it's like thousand hands, bodhisattva, right? Like one, and Tyra says cross-national connection. You believe. Sarah says shared responsibility to care for each other and the environment. And Newt says, I think about equality to approach teaching. Ayla says Buddhist art encompasses the experiences of all beings. Okay. Jansu says Buddha accepts all. Okay, very nice. You can see different colors. You know, that is the diversity we can see in the world, and that symbolizes many different, maybe different countries, different cultures, different languages, different religions, different people, different sentient beings. You can also see the globe, different countries. Uh, they they can probably help each other, or they all need help, asking for help, or they need to help each other. Yeah. Okay. So the Buddha also is there by the side, just like blessing them all. Okay, let's move on to the other picture. This is little different now. What do you think here? What do you see here? One picture can give thousand Dhamma talks sometimes. Nice. Different faiths, same heart. Virgil says. Tara says nectar towards all cultures, religious belief. New says diversity in religious and spiritual development. Really says forms. Isla says sharing of ideas. Um, this should be, I think, Gabriel. Acceptance. Ida says different nationalities and faiths coming together positively. Yeah. You also can see over here different skin type tones or different dresses, different, even gender, many different countries. What countries do you recognize here? Looks like I had to go into the one again. Mhm. What countries do you occur?
Recording in progress.
Can you hear me now? Okay. No echo?
Much better. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Yes. Yeah, you can see here India, can see here Middle Eastern and Africa. Yeah, those are some of the countries that we can find. It's really nice to see, like, when people can work together, they can get together, they can respect each other, regardless of your culture, language, even dress, food, religion, so many differences are there in the world. We all need to respect. That is very important. Then we can smile, you know. Otherwise, you will be grumpy if you don't know how to respect others. If you can appreciate others, then you can also actually smile and be happy. So today we want to learn many of these things. What do you see here? Can you recognize this? Any? Which culture? What country?
Okay. Yes. Maria says Sri Lanka. Sanan says India. New says Mongolia. Bante Vijita says Sri Lanka. Tara says India. Jojo says India. Jangchup says India. This is Sri Lanka. Yeah. This is Sri Lanka, and they are pretty unique in Sri Lanka. Very um, ancient, traditional costumes are there. A lot of diversities you can see here. It's really nice to see some of those, cultures. Different countries have. Every country has something like this. They are ancient, very traditional things. Last time I remember when we were in Niagara Falls, those native Indian people, they demonstrated beautiful cultural show to welcome us. It was really amazing. And also, I remember at the university, we had a um, Sri Lankan and Mexican dancers, the fire dancers. They were doing in their own unique ways. Very nice dancing. Okay, what do you say here? Can you express something by saying this? Yeah, Jojo says, I say this and my mind hears the blaring horn playing. Okay. Kyra says, culture is built by many hands. That's nice. Julie says, culture, diversity in all. Jojo says, there are many peoples in many cultures. Hmm. Gabriela says, youth. Yeah, they all look like young hands, right? Right. Culture is the art and actions that people create, Ayla says. New says, beautiful place to live when people are in harmony with each other and respect cultural and belief diversity. Yeah. You can also see a Buddha statue on the top. So it's looks like all the diversities in Buddhism. We do have that too. Okay. How about this? This is more, um, you have more information here. You can see culture is not just one thing. Culture can be the combination of so many factors, artifacts, norms, values, rituals, heroes, stories. In all your countries, you have these things, right? Older the country, um, the more varieties you have in the culture. So over here, we can see so many different cultures. I'll say everything that goes into a culture influenced by the Buddha himself. Jojo says, would food be norms of culture? Yes, definitely. Norms or values. Food. I think value is little different, right? Yeah, could be both too. Factors affecting culture and form culture by the time. All right. So these already you know what is culture. You know also it is so complex, right? Very diverse. And whenever we talk about culture, actually, it is very exciting. It's not boring, I think, because culture has so many things to make you smile. Every one of you. You can be connected to your country, your culture, your language, your religion, so many things are there. So it's really beautiful. So, what is culture? The definition of culture, according to Cambridge Dictionary, over here it is said the way of life, especially the general customs and beliefs of a particular group of people at a particular time. You see, um, for example, she is studying modern Japanese language and culture. This is one of the most ancient cultures in the world. So, general customs and beliefs, that is the idea of a particular group of people and particular time. You can see that. That's how culture is defined here in the Cambridge Dictionary. Also, the attitudes, behavior, opinion, etc., of a particular group of people within society. Culture of the investigation found there was a culture of sexism and racism within the organization. Popular working class culture. You see different cultures again, different behaviors, different attitudes. We have quite a number of cultures to learn today. Do you know about this call out culture, cancel culture, counter culture, enterprise culture, maker culture, pop culture, subculture, youth culture? Even in our class, we have a culture, you know. All right, let's see what are these cultures. Call out culture is publicly pointing out someone's mistakes or harmful behavior, often on social media. Okay, that is call out culture. Cancel culture, withdrawing support or boycotting individuals, organizations for objectionable actions or views. Counterculture is a lifestyle or movement opposing mainstream values and norms. Counterculture. Again, opposing the mainstream. Enterprise culture, a social environment that encourages entrepreneurship, innovation, and business growth. That's again a very important culture. We have a few more like maker culture, a community focused on DIY, creativity, and building things within hands-on skills and technology. So that's another culture. Today, so many cultures like AI culture, right? Um, and pop culture, mainstream entertainment, trends and practices widely shared by the public. different sports, maybe um, different, maybe musical programs. There can be different culture. I think Michael Jackson also was called a king of pop culture, right? Pop music. Um, yeah, he also carved a niche of his own. So some people are there are like trendsetters. So they could be pretty much a part of the pop culture. Subculture, a smaller group within society with distinct values, interests, or styles. So a culture within a culture, that is subculture. Youth culture, the shared habits, values, and expressions of young people, often shaping fashion, music, and language. Okay. So, which group that you belong to? You probably belong to quite a few cultures already here, you know. So you can be a part of any of these culture. You can be, uh, part of multiple cultures here. And so, if we talk about the Buddhist cultural parallel, call out culture is like Buddhism call out harmful practices like animal sacrifice and rigid caste hierarchy. Like in the general call out culture, we said that they talk about these things in the social media. And so here in Buddhism call out culture, um, is also something like that. Um, Something to do with more compassionate heart. Cancel culture. Followers cancel the superstitious rituals and replace them with ethical living and mindfulness. That's that could be the Buddhist, parallel to cancel culture. Counterculture. The Sangha rejected wealth and power and caste, living simply and equally. That could be counterculture. It could be more, but this is just an example, something like that. So the Buddhist parallel. And enterprise culture, Buddhism encouraged generosity, ethical trade, and right livelihood, Samma Ajiva, as wholesome enterprise. This is also a very important culture. Every one of us have to focus on this culture also. Okay, and then maker culture. Monks and lay people created stupas, manuscripts, and art as offerings to preserve the Dhamma. That's a maker culture in Buddhism. Pop culture, Buddhist values spread into stories, songs, and festivals that became part of everyday life. That like chantings, um, festivals like Vesak, Katina, different, what do you call, Wulam ceremony. They have different mm, festivals in every culture. I think in Thailand, they have Songkran, New Year, Vesak. Many Buddhist cultures are there. So that could be, integrated into stories, songs. In Sri Lanka, I remember on Vesak Day, people get together at the temple and they also sing some songs just like Christmas carols on Vesak Day. So they appreciate the Buddha's values. They do it as a group. Really nice culture again. Subculture, the early Sangha was a distinct community with its own rules, lifestyle, and identity. You see, like the Sangha culture is a very unique different subculture. Youth culture in many young people like Prince Siddhartha and Rahula shaped and carried forward the Buddhist way of life. So many young people like Sariputta, Moggallana, Ananda, Nanda, Rahula, so many uh, young people were there those days. So they carried on their youth culture. And today also we can see many young organizations and non-profits, they could maybe like environmental organizations. They could be part of this culture too. Okay, I have a separate document here. Let me show that. Where is that? Okay. Yeah, this one. I could not actually convert into a slide. This one. So I made it Word document. Can you see? Yeah, so modern cultures was versus Buddhist cultural parallels. So call out culture publicly pointing out harmful behavior. So the Buddhist parallel will be uh, Buddha challenged harmful practices like sacrifice, caste discrimination, etc. Then cancel culture like boycotting objectionable actions uh, and even people. The Buddhists abandoned superstitions and rituals, replacing them with ethical living. This again is a very tough one. Even a lot of Buddhists have so many superstitious beliefs. Sometimes it's I think it is more with them too because of the cultural upbringing. Counterculture rejecting mainstream norms like Sangha renounced wealth and caste and worldly power for simple equal life. Enterprise culture, innovation, and entrepreneurship focus right livelihood, encourage ethical enterprise and generosity as spiritual values. If that can be a business, this could be like ethical business. It could be anything, like even through AI or like online teachings or whatever. People can make it happen. Maker culture, DIY creativity, building, sharing. Monks and laity built supers, manuscripts, and sacred art to preserve and spread Dhamma. Today we will go through many of these things. Also, show me if you have any item of cultural value. If you have in your room, let me see. After this, hopefully, you can show me if you have. Pop culture, mainstream trends in entertainment and lifestyle. Jataka stories, festivals, and chanting became widespread Buddhist cultural practices. Subculture, distinct group with unique values and lifestyles. The Sangha lived by Vinaya rules, forming a unique community within society. Then youth culture, shared values and expressions of young people. Young followers like Rahula, Yasa, and even today's, we can also see a lot of young people um, embrace Buddhism and shaping its future. Okay, so that's about the modern culture versus Buddhist culture parallels. Do you have anything with you? of some cultural value? Any object that you would like to? Maria, what is that?
This is a Nova Scotia tartan. Nova
Okay.
Scotia is New Scotland. So our
Okay.
province has it's our own tweed pattern. So it's a special pattern to our province.
Hmm.
A few of our other provinces have a tartan as well.
Beautiful.
It looks nicer in real life, but yeah.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. All right. So that's really nice. You see, you can. Um, I think everyone is holding to some cultural thing. Every one of you. Even maybe hairstyle, and
I have
dresses.
this on my hand. I didn't open my video. This is like a jade bracelet. You can wear it. I put those on my table because today I'm trying to sell those.
It's like an enterprise culture.
It is from China and this especially from my hometown.
Oh,
Yeah, so I just find I have many.
okay. So what area is that in China?
Northeast of China is a small town called Xiuyan. Yeah, that belongs to my city. And
Okay,
they have many minerals of jade.
right. Okay, wonderful. Thank you,
Yeah.
Shannon, for sharing. You see, the monks also wear different robes. That's also part of their culture, right? Venerable Jangchup is wearing a Tibetan monastic culture. And Venerable Vijita, I think he was originally from Sri Lanka, but I think he is nowadays in Maba. So he he embraced that culture, like wearing the Chinese robe while he's staying there. I think that also like assimilation, nice thing. Okay, all right. So that's about again different cultures. Um, Wonderful to see every one of us has different cultures. So BUCU 130 14. This is historical background of Buddhist culture, right? So what is our culture? We also have a culture. What do you think of the culture of this class? Can you identify something?
I'd say that we have a pretty strong scholastic focus because it is a, well, Buddhist focused educational course.
Yeah, Buddhist focus educational course, online education. Yeah, and also within this, the entire course, this particular class also has some cultures, subculture. So that's also important. Did you recognize some of the features of our class? Yeah. Shannon says relaxed and friendly. Jojo says culture of learning with great interclass sharing and support. And Gabriela says multicultural students. Maria says common interest. Yeah, this could be also part of our culture, right? And so we here in this class, we gather with respect. We respect everyone here. And we listen with open hearts. We learn through reflection and dialogue. And we balance knowledge with practice. And we grow together in harmony, living the spirit of the Dhamma. So these are all part of our culture. This particular class culture. Okay, this could be common to some, maybe not necessarily to everyone. So over here, our class culture is rooted in respect, mindfulness, and shared learning. We come together as a diverse community of students and teachers, creating a safe space where every voice is valued and every perspective enriches our understanding. Just as Buddhist culture grew through dialogue and reflection, our class thrives on open discussion, group activities, and collective wisdom. We balance study with practice through meditation, reflection, and even movement exercises we started newly. So that learning is not only intellectual but also experiential. In this way, our class culture reflects harmony, inclusivity, and the living spirit of the Dhamma. So this is particularly about the culture of this class. Okay. So as I mentioned, we do have some articles about the Buddhist culture, as I mentioned before. Maybe I think probably we should open some. Okay. Hopefully we can read some article before taking a break. After that, we'll go to the movement exercise. Okay. Right. Let me go to this Buddhist cultural exchange and regional influence. Okay. So let me also share the link. So this is the link of that article that we want to read today. And what is that? Anyone wants to read? Maybe, yeah, I can open it from here. So no distractions. Let me go here. Okay. Okay. So Buddhist cultural exchange and regional influence and academic. This is a very short article though. Okay. Would somebody like to read? Can you read it, or is it too small?
Okay, let me go to my version. Okay. Buddhist cultural exchange and regional influence, an academic overview by our Bhante. Buddhism, originating in ancient India, has undergone extensive cultural exchange and regional influence as it is spread across Asia. This article examines the ways in which Buddhism interacts with various cultures, leading to significant adaptations and influences on art, philosophy, and social practices. By exploring key regions such as Central Asia, China, Japan, and Southeast Asia. This article highlights the dynamic process of cultural exchange and the resultant in transformations within Buddhist traditions. Introduction. Buddhism spread from its Indian origins to other parts of Asia, represents a remarkable example of cultural exchange and regional influence. As Buddhism traversed diverse cultural landscapes, it adapted to and influenced various local traditions and practices. This article explores the mechanisms and impacts of Buddhist cultural exchange across different regions, focusing on art, philosophy, and social practices. Central Asia, the transmission of Buddhist ideas. 1. The role of the Silk Road. Central Asia played a crucial role in the transmission of Buddhism from India to China, Korea, and Japan. The Silk Road, a network of trade routes connecting East and West, facilitated the movement of Buddhist texts, artifacts, and ideas. According to Richard Foltz, in Religions of the Silk Road, Central Asian cities such as Samarkand and Khotan were pivotal in this cultural exchange, serving as hubs where Buddhist monks, traders, and scholars interacted with local cultures. 2. Artistic adaptations. Central Asia also saw the adaptation of Buddhist art and architecture. The cave monasteries of Dunhuang, for example, showcase a fusion on Indian Buddhist iconography with local artistic traditions. In the Dunhuang caves and the spread of Buddhism in Central Asia, James C. Scott discusses how these caves reflect both Indian influences and unique Central Asian artistic elements, illustrating the dynamic nature of cultural exchange. China. Sinicization and the evolution of Buddhism. Number 1, the sinicization of Buddhism. In China, Buddhism underwent significant adaptation and integration with existing Confucian and Taoist traditions. The process of sinicization led to the development of distinct Chinese Buddhist schools such as Chan, Zen, and Pure Land Buddhism. In the spread of Buddhism in China, Qianyuan Liu explores how Chinese Buddhist masters like Huineng contribute to the development of new philosophical and meditative practice that reflected local cultural and philosophical concerns. 2. Influence of art and literature. Buddhism also had a profound impact on Chinese art and literature. The integration of Buddhist themes into Chinese painting and poetry is well documented. In Chinese Buddhist art and architecture, Michael Sullivan describes how Buddhist iconography influenced Chinese visual arts, leading to the creation of iconic works such as the Longmen Roots and the famous Buddhist murals in Dunhuang. Japan, the integration of Buddhism into Japanese culture. 1. Early introductions and adaptations. Buddhism entered Japan from Korea in the 6th century and was initially met with resistance from indigenous Shinto practitioners. However, over time, Buddhism became deeply integrated into Japanese culture, leading to the development of distinct Japanese Buddhist traditions. In Buddhism in Japan, its early history and development, Edwin O. Reischauer discusses how Japanese Buddhists adapted Chinese and Korean practices to fit local needs, resulting in the emergence of unique schools such as Nichiren and Shingon Buddhism. 2. artistic and cultural impact. Buddhism significantly influenced Japanese art and culture. The creation of iconic Buddhist temples such as Todaiji and Kinkakuji, and the development of traditional Japanese arts like Zen gardening and tea ceremonies demonstrate Buddhism's lasting impact on Japanese cultural practices. In Japanese Buddhist art, Robert W. Chart examines how Buddhist motifs, aesthetics shape Japanese visual arts and cultural expressions. Southeast Asia, the spread and localization of Buddhism. 1. The adoption and adaptation of Buddhism. In Southeast Asia, Buddhism adapted to local cultures and practices, leading to the development of Theravada Buddhism, which became predominant in countries such as Thailand, Myanmar, and Cambodia. In Theravada Buddhism in Southeast Asia, Donald K. Zwerer explored how Buddhism was localized through the incorporation of indigenous rituals and the adaptation of Buddhist monastic practices to local context. 2. Architectural innovations. Southeast Asia is known for its distinctive Buddhist architecture, including the famous temples of Angkor Wat and Bagan. In Angkor, an introduction to the temples, Michael Freeman and Claude Jacques describe how the architectural styles and religious practices of Buddhism influence the constructions of grand temple complexes in Southeast Asia. These architectural achievements reflect a synthesis of Buddhist ideas with local artistic and cultural traditions. Conclusion. Buddhist cultural exchange and regional influence highlight the dynamic nature of Buddhism as it spread across Asia. From Central Asia to Southeast Asia, Buddhism adapted to and influenced diverse cultural contexts, resulting in significant transformations in art, philosophy, and social practices. By examining these regional adaptations and exchanges, we gain a deeper understanding of Buddhism's role in shaping and being shaped by the cultures it encountered.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Right. So, do you know this word sinicization? What does that mean? Sinicization is
like China,
yeah,
yeah.
it's like localized, into Chinese. Sinicization of Buddhism, so they had Confucian and Taoist traditions when the Buddhism reaches there, and by the time, but Buddhism was also, I think Buddhism has the knack of assimilating into local cultures all the time. So when it went to China, mainland China, those, especially in mainland China, some of those qualities in Buddhism, for example, filial piety, how important it is, like the parents, the in Buddhism, the Matuposaka Jataka, like how Bodhisattva was taking care of his parents, is a beautiful Jataka story. And in Dunhuang caves, these things are beautifully painted. And some of those things suggest that Buddhism, these values were welcomed by mainland China. And usually they don't accept the foreign religions. But because of some of those qualities in Buddhism, somehow they accepted, and they easily adjust to the local cultures. And also see the Theravada monks, when they went there, their robe changed, their cultural patterns, and many things change. So somehow adjusted to different countries and different cultures. Same thing with the other country. Like when Buddhism went to Sri Lanka, it was adjusted to their local culture. When it went to Thailand, Cambodia, Laos, South Korea, Japan, Vietnam, Indonesia, Malaysia, every country, they adopted different local patterns. So that way, Buddhism could survive. Buddhism could spread in different parts of the world. This is a really interesting thing. And as you mentioned here, like Chan and Pure Land Buddhism were mostly popular in China, but Chan also is related to jhana. Jhana is the Pali word, and dhyana is the Sanskrit word, and Chan or Zen. Zen is the Japanese term. So we can see they are all interrelated. That means meditation. Um, so Buddhist influence on through Silk Route, if you see, Buddhism had a lot of influence over there. Later on, I'll show you some pictures actually, like Burmese Buddha statues in Afghanistan, modern day Afghanistan, and Donghuan caves. And so, different, wherever those monks traveled, they also had those cultural, heritage gifted to those areas. And it has been there for thousands of years. So wonderful. And in so many different countries, you can see these wonderful Buddhist cultural upbringings, artistic adaptation. So adaptation is a very interesting thing. Like if you go to Japan, Nara, for example, you can see a lot of Buddhist ruins. And most of you must have heard about the world's largest bronze Buddha statue in Japan. And that's called Kamakura Buddha statue. Um, I've been to that place, really huge one. Also in Nara, you can see a lot of Buddhist cultural temples, and lot of things are there. And monasteries in Donghuan showcase a fusion of Indian Buddhist iconography with local artistic traditions. So they combine with each other. Even in India, the local, Indian Buddha statues, for example, were influenced by Greek cultures. So the Greek statues were very fine, and Gandhara Mathura School of Art, they had different features. For example, in Sri Lanka also, certain historical periods, the Buddha statue was different. There is some historical period where the king of Sri Lanka was married to a Tamil queen, so there were a lot of Tamil influence also in the Buddha statues. So you see, like how they have been assimilated, merged into Buddhist culture. That way, you can see everywhere the art and culture, literature is really, really powerful literature. Wherever you go, in many Buddhist countries, you can see the literature. So in China, in Japan, in Korea, in Sri Lanka, in India, in other countries, Thailand, Myanmar, they all have wonderful literature, Buddhist literature. Apart from the art, they are actually invaluable today. So integration of Buddhism into Japanese culture also is very interesting, because at the beginning again, Shinto practitioners, they were like indigenous, like Confucius and Taoists, and they were not willing to accept. But somehow Buddhism deeply integrated into Japanese culture. And you can say Japanese culture is very rich in Japan, and it actually came from Korea. Although the Korean Japanese, they had some warfare. They are traditionally they are like arch rivals, but Buddhism somehow was received from South Korea to Japan. Southeast Asia, I think, is very predominant with the Southern School of Buddhism or Theravada Buddhism. Some even say Hinayana Buddhism. So the early Buddhist school is more rampant in Thailand, Myanmar, and Sri Lanka, and Cambodia, and also Laos, and few more countries. You can see a lot of architectural, um, cultural, art, and literature through these Buddhist um, values, Buddhist cultures. So over here, let me show you actually some pictures. So over 25 centuries, 2,500 years, it shaped the lifestyle of people. Over time, whenever there is, a culture that is happening for a long, long time, when it exists for a long, long time, so many things are added to the culture. So the Buddhist culture had, I think, especially the Mahayana Buddhism was very good in this, promoting or propagating Buddhist culture, because Mahayana Buddhism was more into, very focused into popular version of Buddhism. Um, Theravada Buddhism was more into personal and practice and liberation, whereas Mahayana Buddhism was very good in adjusting Buddhist values into popularize the religion. That way, lot of paintings, lot of cultural events, and many things that are popular were actually introduced by Mahayana Buddhism. Later, even Theravada Buddhism adjusted. They also accepted it because they knew if you are like in the forest or practicing only, you can really survive. So they had to accept it. And they also had later on, they also had like cultural pageants like chantings and decorations, even this iconography, many things were adapted by the Theravada Buddhism as well. So we can see the way of living, thinking, art, religion, and knowledge. So it's the true cultural achievement should be actually accomplished by an arahanta person, the enlightened person. That is the highest form of cultural evolution, free from selfishness, right? And living with perfect purity and compassion, no attachment, no desires, completely pure in your heart, and that will be the perfect cultural achievement, the arahanta. But beyond that, before that, they also have to live with these mundane cultural values. So the growth in Buddhism has many things. Sometimes actually fostering, they were counterattacking the greed, hatred. For example, if you go to a Buddhist stupa, you can see the entire Buddhist teachings or portrait there. Later on, I'll show you maybe if I have time. So kindness, compassion, honesty, heedfulness, they are all shown here. If you go to a Bodhi tree, you sit underneath the Bodhi tree, you meditate. Underneath the Bodhi tree is very beautiful, like green, and you can circumambulate the Bodhi tree with some water, and then you pour the water to the Bodhi tree, and then you chant and meditate. And underneath that, the oxygen, inflow from the Bodhi tree is much. So people, it is said, when you look at the green, you can even improve the eyesight. The Buddha himself was looking at the Bodhi tree for one whole week, it is said, without eye winking of his eyes. It improved his eyesight, it is said. And also he had the aura visible when he did that. So the Bodhi tree culture is a very wonderful culture too, especially in Theravada Buddhist culture countries. Even here in America, you can see Bodhi trees. How did it happen? It's not a local tree here, but when we go to like if you are in the West Coast, you can see huge Bodhi trees, just like in Sri Lanka or Southeast Asia. Like in my temple, we have two huge Bodhi trees. And but when we go to East Coast, the Bodhi trees are actually grown in pots. So they have to keep it inside during the winter. I think in Mamba also you must have seen some Bodhi trees, right? There was a small one, yeah, right. So they are all different cultures, and also the ethical practices such as sila, different kinds of sila that we learned before. They are part of it, and so the discipline, the mental culture, um, like chanting, meditation, walking, respect the nature. All these things are part of this growth, especially art and literature. Buddhism has contributed to the art and literature in the world in immense scale. Like today's art, architecture, and literature in Buddhism is really, really very rich. So the artistic expressions like Samadhi Buddha statue promote tranquility. Even by just looking at the Buddha statue, you can go to Samadhi. You can, feel compassionate. You can feel peaceful. And so the Buddha statue has also very unique cultural value when it comes to the South Asian countries. You can see the Buddha statue is very different, and even the color of the Buddha statue is simple white color. But if you go to Thailand, for example, it is more to do with the golden color. And the Buddha statue, the facial expression, like the structure, the form is different. And they feel very connected with that. And why in Thailand and Myanmar also, like Swedagon Pagoda, one of the largest stupas in Myanmar, a very ancient one. The entire stupa is golden color. So it is also said Suvarna Bhumi. Suvarna Bhumi or Swarna Bhumi means golden land. So they used to maybe respect the Buddha with the most valuable thing, and that is why they actually um, gilded, what do you call, painted with gold color. And if you go to Thailand, you can see those in even in Myanmar, you can see people have some stickers like gold stickers. You paste it on the Buddha statue and stupas. That is their habit. So the timeless relevance, very important. Um, you know, Buddhism, how it offers um, rational and compassionate approach to life, and free from moral blindness and social perversity. So these are also very powerful foundations in Buddhist culture. So it's also like philosophically related when it comes to the culture. And so here we can see the Buddha's, the Buddhism's contribution and influence to the cultural revolution of not only India, but also to many, many countries. Wherever the Buddhism went, it was flourishing. Now in Africa, there are some Buddhist monks, and in Western countries, there are some Buddhist monks and nuns, and also practitioners. They are all following, they are all practicing in their unique styles. And I think yesterday we were also talking about how Buddhism, some of those meditational cultures have been adapted by the, mm, like Joan Kabat-Zinn, for example, MBSR, right? Mindfulness-based stress reduction, how they use it for the greater benefit. Although they don't want to have the religious tag into that, but they use the technique of Buddhism, Buddhist meditation. Although no ethical values, their foundation is not necessarily there, but they still use the techniques. Okay, so we can see Buddhist art, we can see Buddhist literature, we can see Buddhist culture. They can be all together. I think I would like to take a break now. Before that, I'd like to ask Kyra to lead us for some bodily movement exercise.
Okay, so I have 3 very, very quick little exercises to lead you all through. The first one, it's all Qigong. So the first one is called Knocking on the Door of Life. It's for vitality and energy. And then we're going to go to the second one, which is called Shaking, and that's for stress reduction and transformation of stress into energy. And then we'll go to the third one, which is called Open the Flow, and that's for like recentering and balancing. Sound good? We're all gonna stand up. And I apologize, this room is small, so hopefully you can all see me. Okay, so the first one is very similar to what we did yesterday. Legs shoulder width apart, knees a little bit bent, arms at your side, and you're gonna twist at the hips. Your arms are going to hit kind of cross body, mid back, mid abdomen. And you're just gonna twist, breathe deeply, and just kind of focus on the movement. And you're gonna feel the energy kind of building up, a little bit more awake, hopefully. And we're gonna slow it down, kind of let it stop, just naturally. Okay, we're gonna move on to shaking. So we're gonna start with our hands, just start shaking the hands, and then move it up all the way to the shoulders. There you go. Just focusing on the arms to start. Okay, now we're going to kind of relax it back down. And then we're going to kind of like bounce it a little bit. So you've probably seen athletes do this before a big race, transforming that stress into more positive energy, getting rid of the negative and kind of transforming it into more of a positive thing. Take a deep breath, let it out. One more time, deep breath in and out. All right. Okay, hopefully we're a little bit more awake, a little bit more energized. Let's recenter. So, knees just a little bit bent, keeping them shoulder width apart still. Arms are going to be out in front of you, and you're going to go up and back down. This is called opening the flow. It's a very slow, easy motion. It's almost like your wrists are attached to a string. Deep breath in as your arms go up. Out as they go back down. In again. And out. Now focus on how the energy is kind of resettling into your body. Kind of focus on the calm, recentering feeling. Couple more times, and out. In. And out. Okay. A very quick exercise. Hopefully everyone's a little bit more awake. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That's so wonderful. Please give Kyra a big hand of applause for waking you up after listening to my boring long speech. uh, okay, I really appreciate Gabriela actually. She's the one who suggested, why don't we have like this kind of a, an exercise in the middle of the class, so he'll feel more more energetic and also connected. I really am thankful to Gabriela, and so she started, and now we can see the wonderful talent for the students. So yeah, so next time you could be the one to lead the exercise movement. You could do anything and to make us more live. And yes, so I also would like to say that I will continue this um, um, this tradition with all my other classes as well. Right. All right. So with that, we'll take a 15 minutes break, and I will share some links here later, so you can also um, attend to that later on for the group discussion. And remember, you have to be here in the class. I need to take the attendance sheet. So if you leave in advance, you have to let me know. Otherwise, I'll just take the screenshot. I don't know if somebody has left earlier. Okay. All right. So we'll take a little break now. See you in 15 minutes. Nice. Okay. So I want to quickly show you some Buddhist art um, paintings first, and then we will actually have a discussion. That I think will also be very important. We need to go with the discussion session as well. Let me go to this first. So the Buddhist art. We talked about the Buddhist culture, and here it is Buddhist art. So over the last 2.5 millennia, Buddhist art has done so much to the society, and as a religious tradition, Buddhism introduced many different innovative artistic expressions and architectural forms. For example, in those traditional Buddhist countries, those students in the colleges, when they they have to do some certain courses like architecture, so they go to Buddhist temples to learn how to draft those temple structures. Do you know the biggest temple, Buddhist temple, the traditional historical Buddhist temple in the world? What is the name and where it is located? Anyone? No, not Japan. That is called Angkor Wat. Where is Angkor Wat? That is in Cambodia. um, Also in Indonesia, there is another huge Buddhist monastery. It is called Borobudur. They are very famous. Some Buddha statues, really big statues, like giant Buddha statue in Sichuan, um, China, and like in Bamiyan, Afghanistan, and like huge monastic stupas in Sri Lanka, and also in Nepal. You can see some countries. You can see the stupa also style is different from country to country. We will take a look at them. Right here, can you recognize this? What is this? Where is it located? This is called Sanchi Stupa in India. So it's located in Madhya Pradesh. It is said Venerable Mahinda and his sister Sangamita, and they are both enlightened sisters and brothers, and they are the son and daughter of King Ashoka. Their mother Vidisa or Vedisa is actually from this area. So Venerable Mahinda had a good look at the local culture there, the stupa, the mountains, and then the paddy fields, and then the lakes. That culture he brought to Sri Lanka. So he introduced that culture to Sri Lanka. Along with him, there were a number of um, skillful professionals he introduced to Sri Lanka. So this is called, what is this? At least you can say what country, what is it like? Is it like
Malaysia.
no Malaysia. Huh?
Thailand.
It could be Thailand, it could be Myanmar, I think. Like Swedagon, yeah, in Myanmar, they have something, the stupas are like this. What about this? This is also a stupa. You see different stupas? Already the stupa style is different.
China.
This should be India, I guess. Uh, it could. There is a stupa like this in India, somewhere close to Rajgir, and yeah, I think it is the one. This one.
Tibet.
No, a lot of Tibetan monks are there here in this country. This is Nepal.
No.
Yeah, Kathmandu, Nepal. I've been to Kathmandu actually. We can walk around this stupa, um, circumambulate. What is this?
Are those elephants?
They are, yes. They are not the real ones though. The whole wall around the stupa, we have the elephants.
India.
Sri Lanka.
We should go.
And you can see the yeah, you can see this is like more than 300 feet tall. And right here, um, actually, two big buses can, cross, like a really, really huge one. This. And over here, the space is a lot. And right over here in the stupas, we have like the dome shape, and underneath there are so many other arts and crafts, and also like the path to Nibbana, and on the top there is something called crystal, and that is like the Nibbana. So the entire stupa, design is to reflect the teaching of the Buddha. So this is located in Sri Lanka, in ancient capital of Sri Lanka. My university was just 5 minutes away from here. I used to go there like every single evening, and I just sit in the evening. It's so wonderful. It's space, emptiness. It's amazingly peaceful. Right. You can see the same. You see the whole area, the Mahavihara, the premises, the first ever Buddhist monastery in Sri Lanka, after Venerable Mahinda arrived there in the 3rd century BC. So this is the stupa there. And you see the stupas, they are like white color. And also with the huge monastic complex. And what is this?
Banti, Jojo wants to say something.
Yes.
Bhante, going back to the last design form of the stupa, how important is that for, say, a new vihara that's being built or one that's already established? Do you need to have a stupa either structurally or represented somewhere in your vihara or temple?
Well, in Sri Lanka, again the culture in Sri Lanka, maybe the subculture in Sri Lanka, is that every vihara should have three things. One is the stupa, where the relic of the Buddha is enshrined. So that will be located little bit above the other places. Okay. And that is the place where everyone goes first. You have to pay respect to the stupa first. And then to the Bodhi tree. There is a Bodhi tree little bit below that. And that is the place where he was enlightened. So people meditate, people circumambulate, people water the tree. Also try to respect the nature. And then the shrine room, where people can gather, chant. The Buddha statues, lot of activities are also happening there. Chanting can be there. It is again below stupa, the Bodhi tree, and the shrine room. We call vihara. So these three items are there, are integral part of Sri Lankan Buddhist monastic complex. But it is not necessarily the same everywhere. Does it make sense, Jojo?
It does. I'll follow up with you a little bit later regarding this.
Okay, thank you. All right, so this one, can you recognize?
The temple of the sacred tooth relic in Sri Lanka.
Yeah, Sacred Tooth Relic Temple in Sri Lanka. Again, very old. There is a traditional cultural pageant like elephants, decorated elephants, and so many dancers from all across the country. They come and, people from different countries, they go visit that. It's a beautiful cultural pageant. And here, the leader of the country is sworn in right here. So they pay respect to the tooth relic. And interestingly, the tooth relic was brought to Sri Lanka by a lady. She was hiding it on her hair, and her country was invaded by some enemies, and they were worried that they would lose it. So they came all the way from India and they gave it to Hemamala and Danta. This is the couple, a royal prince and princess. They came to Sri Lanka to, uh, give this to the king, and ever since the king protected um, that time. So it is called Tooth Relic Temple. Candy. You can also see here, actually, there. This is also in Sri Lanka. You can see the stone pillars. They are just not just pillars. They are cultural masterpieces, art and crafts, all embodied there, and everything is so full of philosophy, so full of culture, so full of art. So this you can see in that country like hundreds and thousands of these very ancient um, ruins of Buddhism. And this is the same stupa. You can see the size of the stupa. Like if you stand right here, and only you will be like, if you are like 6 foot something, then you will be able to stay there right here. And you can see the massive size of the stupa. And right around the stupa, there is a robe. It's like, I think it is 150 meters something. I don't know. Like, Venerable, do you know the length?
I think 100 to 50.
Yeah, it's a really big one.
Yeah.
And again, this is another Buddha statue. Beautiful, right? Ancient, from Sri Lankan capital, like Anuradhapura and Polonnaru. You will see them hundreds and hundreds and thousands of these ancient Buddhist ruins. So a lot of people over here, you see, again, interesting. So they did not want to completely renovate the stupa. They just wanted to, make sure that it is not collapsing. So they just made it like that. It's a really, really big one. I went to the top here when I was there. So it was also very next to my university. And this is called Jetavana Monastery, where some of those uh, Theravada and Mahayana Buddhist complexes were located. All the different schools of Buddhism were there. It's also a very nice place. Okay, this is the Swedagon Stupa, as I mentioned, this one. Famous Swedagon Stupa in Myanmar. If you go to Myanmar, you must visit this place. It's a really, really beautiful stupa. Again, that stupa is different. You can see, like the previous one is like a bubble. This one is, let me see. Okay, this is like a bubble. Okay, so it is called Bubbulakara. And the other one, some are like bell shape, some are like the heap of paddy, you know. So they have different style. And this golden stupa, Swedagon stupa in Myanmar, is a very beautiful temple too. And you see, the entire area is so full of Buddhist culture. You can feel it. You can feel the energy all across. Um, so in Myanmar, they are also very wonderful, dedicated Buddhist practitioners. This is a famous Samadhi Buddha statue in Sri Lanka, very ancient Anuradhapura period, which has been there for a long, long time. It is because of the weather, hard weather conditions, especially when it rains a lot. It's difficult, moisture a lot, then very easy to ruin. And so that's why many of the stupas, statues were like stone, made of stone. So they can probably stay longer. But still, um, they this is another one. You can see just the rock and how they have shaped it into a live Buddha statue. Amazing. And this, you see, different culture again. The Thai, Cambodian, Laos, those people are very fond of this beautiful Buddha statue culture. So that's how they are connected to that style. And whereas in Sri Lanka, we are more connected to this kind of Buddha statues. You see, like different. And this is also like Indonesia, Thailand, Myanmar, they have this kind of Buddha statue. Here's the world famous Kamakura Buddha statue in Japan, was largest bronze statue, very big one. I've been there too. And this is Nara, again Japan, ancient uh, ancient ruins. So many ruins are there in this city. You can see here again the Buddhist culture, many hands and many help. Can see a lot of hands means a lot of help. So that's Mahayana Mahayana art in China, in Vietnam, in Japan, South Korea. These countries you will see this style of Buddha statue. This is also modern style of Kuan Yin. The uh, the symbol of compassion. You can see the compassion is more motherly like. So it looks like formerly it was a male figure, and later it transformed even the gender. I think because of the compassion, motherly nature. You can see here, this is the entire mountain. Mountain turned into a Buddha statue. This is by the side of a beautiful river in Sichuan. This is called Giant Buddha in mainland China. You can see people here, right? They are at the bottom and they can also go all the way. I've never been, but I've been actually following. Really want to uh, go see this one day. And this is the famous, um, what do you call, Bamiyan Buddha statue in Afghanistan. So they lately they completely demolished the Buddha statue. Very old, huge Buddha statue. They had some explosives to destroy that because they didn't like Buddhism. The whole world was against that, but they somehow didn't want to listen to anyone. And I'll show you the
Excuse me, where is this place?
Afghanistan. Yeah, you can see here when the Buddha was there. And later they destroyed it. Yeah, you see? Now they are actually also worried because some of the people over there, the local people, because so many thousands of people from all over the world, they came to see, and now it is empty. And this one is, I think, Venerable, Venerable Jangchup knows it better. This is Potala, right? In Tibet. This is the main monastery of Dalai Lama.
This is not Potala. Maybe this is India, East India, Sikkim.
Is it the Dharmashala?
No, Dharamsala. East India, Sikkim.
Oh, in Sikkim, right. Okay. Yeah, I think I remember it was different from Potala, but it looks like something little similar to that. You can also see the art paintings over here. So Tibetan style. Over here, you can also see rock art in different styles of the Buddha. For example, this one is called Dharma Chakra Mudra, like how a problem is solved. It is like that. And you can see two statues that is like Sariputta Moggallana. And also, when the Buddha was teaching the first sermon, there were some heavenly beings. And down underneath, you can see people, the five disciples, for example. And also the deer, that is Deer Park. This is the Sarnath, like Varanasi, Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta chant, Desana. Okay, Venerable, do you know this? Tangchup. Is it Dharmashala?
No, maybe it is in the Achenda cave.
Where?
Achenda, this one, this one's Ladakh.
Ladakh, right? Oh. Yeah, I've been to Ladakh. I met Dalai Lama over there.
Yeah.
It is it is not, sorry, I went to Dharamshala, not Ladakh. These are Tibetan. Um, so, lot of Tibetan people, whenever they go to, even if you go to Mount Everest, I think on the way you can see a lot of these um, Tibetan style Buddhist flags, chantings, and prayers, also from different colors, like the colors of the Buddhist flag. Venerable, if you want to say something about this. this culture? Do you want to say something?
So sorry, I cannot, but my English is not.
Okay. So yeah, so that is how the Buddhist flag, for example, later on, it was designed by Anagarika Dharmapala, and I think also Colonel Henry Steele Olcott. They decide the Buddha statue. Over here, it's another unique culture in Theravada Buddhism. You can see the monks holding a blessing cord, and then they all chant. And the blessing cord can also be held by the people, so it is connected to everyone when the monks are chanting. And this again, you can see the lighting of the lamp to dispel the darkness, and also to pay respect to the Buddha. Another interesting Buddhist cultural aspect. This one again, a very unique Buddhist culture, what we call Pindapata or alms round. So this is the way the Southeast Asian countries, the monks, they used to take their alms bowl like this, and hundreds and thousands of Buddhist monks all across these countries, they work for alms round, and people are used to offer them food. See these monks, probably um, these monks are uh, Thailand, probably like yeah, this should be Thai, Cambodian, or Laos monks. See this again. The robe also is different. This is Tibetan. Is this Tibetan, Venerable?
Yes, it is better number. Yeah.
Yeah. Can see the four directions.
Maybe the four direction is south, east, north, west, south.
Yeah, yeah.
The round is inside in the round is mandala.
Mandala, right?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, the whole mandala culture is very popular in Tibetan Buddhism. You need to learn more about the Tibetan Buddhist culture. This is Angulimala, how he became, he transformed himself from a ferocious um, slaughterer, and he became a saint later on. Can see Angulimala's mother here in the hindsight, and the Buddha is taming Angulimala. He became a monk. Over here again, the artist reflects the Mara. See, when the Buddha he was meditating, the Mara was trying to defeat him, trying to tempt him, trying to break his attention, but he could not. So this is how these people, do these beautiful paintings. This is again Tibetan paintings. So all the Buddhist countries have a wonderful artists because of this amazing culture. Can see this. This should be Thai, Cambodian, Laos. Their culture, and also elephants and lions, and heavenly beings, and they are such an integral part of Buddhist paintings. This is a famous cave temple in Sri Lanka. Again, very old cave temple. And as I told you before, the king's, the queen was related to Tamil, and the Buddha statue also had some Tamil influence. the wave type of stupa, the robe is part of that Tamil influence. So the culture has different upbringing, different sayings. We can see that. Another, the Buddhist art reflecting different. I think this is yin yang, right? So you can see the tussle between good and bad, wholesome, unwholesome, kusala, akusala happening. And beautiful Vesak pendants during the Vesak, the Buddha's birthday. People all across the Buddhist world, they celebrate one of the biggest Buddhist um, celebrations that we have. Okay, with that, I would like to. Okay, come back to this group discussion. We will discuss these articles, Art and Architecture of Buddhism, a unique culture contribution, social reforms introduced by Buddhism in ancient India, Buddhist cultural exchange and regional influence, literary and philosophical contributions of Buddhism. Let's take a look at this. And I would like to invite you to be certain groups, and you already have the articles here. If someone actually joined later, they probably won't. Who joined later? Cameron. Okay. All right. So they probably don't see this, right? Okay. So Mark, can you see the links in the chat? All the links?
Yes.
Okay, good then. All right, so let me divide you into certain groups, and please remember there is the same article like Buddhist cultural exchange, one, and literary and philosophical contribution, two, and then the third one is the same. So let me remove that one. Okay. So we have Buddhist cultural exchange, literary and philosophical contributions, social reforms, and the art and architecture of Buddhism. Okay? All right. Let me make you into different groups. Hopefully I can. Gabriela, can I think you have to make me the host or something. You don't see the.
I'm looking. Maybe you can ask to be the host. Okay, let me see here. That's you are the host.
Host or co-host, it's okay. If I can, okay, now I can break out rooms. All right, so we have number one, Buddhist cultural exchange. Number two, literary and philosophical contributions. Number three, social reforms, and art and architecture, number four. Okay, I'll make four groups, 1, 2, 3, and then okay. So we have here Gabriela, Jojo, Kyra, Mark, group one. Maybe I have to move Mark to room 2 because I'm not there. And Ayla Bante Visitor Camp in room 3, Jungchup Julie Tara, room 4. Okay? Behave myself. Okay. We'll see you in 15 minutes. All right. I hope everyone is back. We're waiting for some more people. Okay. All right. So now we have everyone here in the group, and I would like to ask group 1 people to raise hands. Raise your hand. You will be on top of the group then.
Well, fortunately, that was the article that I
Raise
read.
hand here. Okay. Yes. All right.
Okay. Yes, I was saying.
Shaira.
Go.
It's all good. No, Gabriella, you
Only one person?
you're talking. Go ahead.
Okay. Maybe you can. Okay. You can start. Unmute.
Okay, so our discussion was actually really good because the article was the one that Gabriella had read earlier, so we got more time to like actually talk and go through the article and the little bits and pieces from our different perspectives, looking into like the different ways that art came through Buddhism and affected different Asian cultures. And we talked about like our own personal experiences, seeing different aspects of that. I'm currently taking a course through the University of Michigan in ancient Asian cultures up to year 1600. So we're also investigating some of the arts and Buddhist aspects that are coming in through that course. And it's fantastic to see the overlap between the two. We also mentioned like different ceremonies and whatnot, and I'll let the rest of the group talk to that.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Jojo, you want to say something?
It's just interesting to see that you have something that starts as one thing, but it's kind of like a blossoming lotus. As it goes into the different lands, it just continues to blossom and become more beautiful in the eyes of the different cultures. So we were looking at the ways that it traveled and the impact that it's having on the world, which is tremendous right now.
Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. We can move on to the other group then. Group number 2. Yeah, please give them a big hand of applause. Group 1. Okay. I know we are doing it in a very different fashion. 15 minutes, not easy. Okay. Mark. And who else? Okay, no. All right. Somebody start.
Yeah, our group divide into 3 parts. Each person is responsible for one part, so it's easy for us to summarize. And in my part, I read about the contribution of Buddhism in literary, and there are 3 main point here. Is about first of all is about the Buddhist teachers tradition, especially the Pali Canon, Mahayana Sutras, and some commentary in Buddhism. Is effect to is create the impact in in literacy contribution, and is create the influence literacy tradition in Asia. The second point is about the Buddhism significant impact on Indian literature. Is and Yeah, especially in famous or well known with the Chataka tales. Tell about it's kind of storytelling about the previous life of Buddha, and it convey the moral lesson and Buddhist teaching through engaging storytelling. And the third point is about the Buddhist received influence in Asia, especially in China. There are many Buddhist texts translated into Chinese, and it affect it affect to the literacies in China, and even even in Japan too. Yep.
Thank you.
Mark.
Next.
Yes. For my part, I was reading on philosophy. We have the core philosophical teaching from the Buddha was about the four noble truths, the eightfold path, and concept of emptiness. Also, impermanence, suffering, dukkha, or non-self. So all of that, great thing about existential questions. And then on the development of Buddhist philosophy. So this part I was reading wrong earlier. I was reading too fast. I thought it say about Mahayana and Yogacara as a development, but no. Yogacara was one, but the second one, it was Mad Mayam
Madhyamika.
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 Madhyamika. And does it mean middle way?
Yeah, Madhyamika means middle way.
Thank you. Yeah, so those two are the development after that, and we have to remember that this philosophy doesn't come out of nowhere. It's not growing out of a vacuum, but it kind of like growing with the conversations and kind of challenge other metaphysics assumptions in Indian philosophy too. And going more into nowadays for the global impact, Buddhist philosophy still having huge impact on like issues like mental health, ethics, and global peace, which we have been discussing in this class. Oh, yeah.
Thank you. All right.
On my part, I'm on the third part. They're talking about the impact of Buddhism thoughts to cross-cultural impact, especially to the Western. And it mentioned that the Buddhist idea was introduced to the Europe and the West, North America in the 19th and the 20th century, and was integrated into Western philosophy. And also in the West, people shows increased interest in mindfulness and meditation, as some teacher wrote in the book, and it reflects the growing interest in Buddhist approach to mental well-being and personal development in the West. So Buddhism impact the literature and the philosophy global and very significantly.
Thank you. Thank you. Please give the group two a big hand of applause. All right, well done. Let's go to group number 3. Please raise your hand. Ayla. Okay, you can start.
Okay, so our article was about the cultural changes that Buddhism brought about in India at the time of the Buddha's lifetime. So in India at that time, Brahmanism was the main religion and it influenced a lot of the culture. A big thing is that there was the caste system, and then Buddhism introduced a different way of organizing people, because we did not separate people into castes, and so especially when people would go to become a monastic and live in the Sangha, then you would have no caste at all. And so the article also mentioned that the lay people were influenced by that. They saw how people lived in the Sangha, and that had some influence on what the culture of the society began to look like around India. And then I asked Bhante Vijita a little bit about how Buddhism changed the culture in Sri Lanka. So maybe he can share.
Okay.
Thank you. Uh, Actually, according to this article, then in the ancient India, there was the uh, caste system, and the Buddhism brought important social reforms, important social reforms to the ancient India, and also Buddha strongly challenged the caste, this caste system, for teaching everyone has the potential for the enlightenment. And also Buddha welcomed all caste into the all caste system, the caste, the all the peoples in Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra, and all the Buddha welcome to the Sangha community, and giving dignity and value to those who were marginalized. And also Buddhism also promoted social equality by rejecting the complicated rituals controlled by Brahmin. Instead, it focused on ethical conduct, personal responsibilities, and the path to liberation that was often to all. And also in the Sri Lanka, also the Sri Lanka and the Venerable Mahinda brought Buddhism to the Sri Lanka. Then after by Venerable Mahinda shared the Buddha's teaching to the Sri Lanka, and also in the Sri Lankan society has changed to the Sri Lankan people. Or many of Sri Lankan people were become as a Buddhist, and also that's yeah.
Thank you so much. Wonderful effort, and please give them a big hand of applause. Beautiful. Okay, let's move on to group number 4. Okay, Tara.
Hi, Bante. I was actually really excited you put me in this group, which is what I told the classmates, because I really wanted to know more on the art and the architecture, because I really don't know that much about it. And so it was very interesting. You know, I just love looking at all the different cultural diversities within the art, especially over, you know, the many centuries. And there's just so many different dimensions to it. Um, I really enjoyed learning about the stupas. I had no idea, you know, especially when they were talking about the dome, that it represents the cosmos, and then the path to liberation. You know, I'm just not educated enough. So oh my gosh, and Julie was exceptionally informative and explained some of the different aspects across the cultures, like in Tibet and Japan, as far as Buddha goes. It was just very engaging. But with that said, Bante, do you know if there's an art class that I can learn and further like education for Buddhism I can take maybe?
Yeah, definitely. We'll in our countries we do have. I'm not sure if we have art class here. Probably the other communities like Tibetan Buddhism is very popular here, so they probably have some. We need to you need to take a look. Available junk shop probably can help, and if we know something, we'll let you know. Stay in touch.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, if any of you know any art class, please share the link or information in the group so everyone will be benefited. Okay, Julie.
Oh, fortunate to take a class when I was in my undergrad in regard to Buddhism and art. And so a lot of the sculptures and the building and the artwork around the world, we were able to learn that in class, and I was very fortunate to see a lot of them in person with my traveling of work. So then Japan has a lot of great art in regards to Buddhism, and Kyoto is one of the city that you can live there 10 years and still will not finish all the temples in that city. So if anybody interested in visiting temples, and a lot of this feature, we can recognize the difference between the different countries and Buddhas. So with Thailand's and Sri Lanka's and Cambodia's, you will see the Buddha head more pointy, and then that's a very distinctive feature with Japan, like China's and Vietnam. The head, the top of the Buddha is more round. You won't see the pointy structure to it. And then with Tibetans, Nepal, and that region, you can see it in the eyes of the Buddha. They have a very distinctive ways that they draw the eyes of the Buddhas that you can tell right away which region it's coming from. And I think in Nara, when you mentioned the Buddha, one of the biggest Buddha, that temple actually burned down and the Buddha statue was still remaining perfect conditions. And then they rebuilt the temple. So that was very interesting. Some of the, I mean, art, the sculpture art and the stupas, and then Tibetan have tanga, which I really like. They have tangas, which is fabric and silk made, but it's artwork. And I find them very fascinating to study those. Yeah.
Thank you. Beautiful. We organized an Buddhat, a festival called Buddhat, Buddhist art exhibition, week-long Buddhist art exhibition attended by professional Buddhist artists from 15 different countries. So I was part of that organizing committee. Dhamma USA was part of it, and we had it in University of the West some time back. I remember how we were working together. We had all different Buddhist statues and tankas and mandalas and meditations. Many activities were there. Very nice. Yeah, yeah. We'll stay in touch. Let's see. If you also have a chance, you can go to local museums and you will see the Buddha statues, the other Buddhist artifacts, all from traditional Buddhist countries. But luckily, people in these countries can also take a look. They will also be able to enjoy the power of Buddhist art.
Ante, are
Yeah,
you in California?
I am.
On the 13th of the September, there is a mandala is making right now in Orange County Garden Grove area. It's in dedication to the medicine praying mandala for world peace and for the
Okay.
well-being of people. So if you have time, you can come by and visit. I'll be in town that time too. I'll send you the invitation.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, but it's a little far from here. I'll
Oh,
let me know anyway.
okay.
You send me the link.
Santi,
Thank you.
a little bit of my art pieces. I've been an artist since 2012,
Hmm.
influenced by the Buddhism, and
Hmm.
these are made by oil on fabric, 3D paintings, and let me show you.
Is that what we see in the back?
Hmm?
We see some Buddha artists.
Wow.
Can you see this? Those are
Yeah.
elevations 5 feet.
Hmm. Oh, really?
Mhm.
That's wonderful. Ritual and spirituality. It's like a 3D movie.
Exactly. I paint 3 times in 3 layers to create
Hmm.
the effect.
Wonderful, wonderful.
And you have
Oh, wow. Can see. Last time, actually, I also met one Mexican lady, she was also doing a lot of. This is very nice too.
Hmm. Last year on May, the Chicago Tribune made an article about this business. So
Mm, that's really cool. Thank you for sharing this. Yeah. So, yeah, please stay in touch and share your information with the rest of the class. If you have anything with your, expertise, that will be really, really nice. So, please give them a big hand of applause. um, for all the people who have been working today. And again, I will just remind you that the final recap in class writing we have on September 22, and then assignment 2 is due tomorrow. So hopefully you have already sent many of you, and some of the articles over here, I think access to insight, I found there is a fascinating article. You can also take a look. Yes. So this is about today's class, and thank you again, everyone, for joining us today with this class. And today we have seen how Buddhism brought about a cultural revolution in India, reshaping values, arts, and social life in ways that still inspire us today. You see, like a lot of people here, we have some artists. So wonderful. As we conclude, I invite each of you to pause for a moment and write down one word that captures your feeling or reflection from this session. It could be a word that expresses your learning, your inspiration, or even your curiosity. Let's share these words together as a simple reminder that culture like the Dhamma is always alive within us. Okay, with that, we would conclude today's session. Thank you so much for everyone for making this class so wonderful and happening. I would like to invite any of you to lead the exercise tomorrow. Okay, be ready and let me know if you are ready tomorrow morning when we meet at the beginning of the class. All right, with that we conclude. May you all be well, happy, healthy, sukhi, dighai, kobha. See you tomorrow.
Thank you, Bunty. Good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bante.
Thank you. Thank you.
Therwan Sarnahan. Yes,
Terwan Saranai.
now that
Okay.
you can stop the recording.
Oh, I have to stop?
Yeah, because I can't.
Oh, really?
Let me see.
Wait a minute. Okay. Stop.